Life's Amazing Secrets by Gaur Gopal Das. Chapter 1, Forgetting the Keys. As you become successful, do not forget the keys to happiness. Happiness resides not in possessions and not in gold. Happiness dwells in the soul. It may have been a mistake to publicly announce that my favorite cuisine comes from the south of India, because the whole year it was sambar for breakfast, sambar for lunch, and sambar for dinner. In fact, sambars followed me everywhere I went. For those of you who don't know, sambar is a For those of you who do not know, sambar is a lentil-based vegetable stew which accompanies famous rice-based dish such as dosa or idli. From the UK to Australia, everyone who invited me to their home fed me their version of this much-loved lentil soup. Having had so much of it, it was only natural that I became a connoisseur of the dish. I knew where to find the best sambar in any town, let alone my own, and that is where our story begins. Although I grew up in Pune, my heart lies in a simple ashram paradoxically situated amid the skyline of downtown Mumbai. I have lived there as a monk for 22 years, where I have not only been studying ancient Eastern wisdom for my enrichment, but also learning how to share its practical application with the world. People who attend my lectures regularly invite me to have lunch at their homes, but to their disappointment, I usually decline. As a monk, I have to be cautious for overindulgence. It is essential to stay regulated in our habits. But after months of pleading, I hesitantly accepted an invitation to go to Mr. and Mrs. Iyer's home, a decision which would deepen my understanding of happiness in the long run. Mumbai is notoriously humid in mid-May. It's the type of sticky humidity in which your sweat causes your shirt to stick to your back, but one only felt like at a sea level, not in the cloud-bound apartment of Hari Prasad and Lalita Iyer, situated in a high-rise in elegant Worli. This area of Mumbai is what Fifth Avenue is to New York, or Park Lane is to London. Indeed, if there were a version of the board game Monopoly for Mumbai, you would be paying a hefty price if you landed on Worli's distinguished stars, Palais Royal or Omkar 1973. And here I was, a monk with hardly a rupee to my name, enjoying the cooling breeze from the Arabian Sea on the 28th floor home of my gracious host. A word of caution: I have changed the names in this story. This adjustment is not only to be sensitive towards the couple whose secret I am about to share, but also to avoid offending those who have ever fed me sambar that did not live up to the standards set by Ayers. The lunch started with me getting confused. I had never eaten sambar solely with a spoon, let alone three. They sat me at the head of their rich oak dining table, which overlooked the sea. Fragile, glittery centerpiece on the table illuminated in the room as it shone in the midday sun. The table was set only for me, a witty gold leaf-shaped plate with a satin napkin folded into a swan on it, and cutlery of varying shapes and sizes around the plate. The 3 spoons lay in front of me, 2 knives to my right and 4 forks to my left. 4 forks. I was not sure if we had 4 in our entire ashram, as nearly everyone just uses their 5 fingers. I looked at Mr. Iyer slightly uneasily and begged him and his wife to join me for lunch, not only to guide me through the maze of cutlery but to also give me company. It's no fun eating alone. Mr. Iyer wanted to serve me lunch personally, but on my persuasion he joined in. His wife, however, found the offer and insisted that she would personally serve us both hot dosas and other preparation created by the army of chefs in their bustling kitchen. And so, armed with a desert knife in one hand and a salad fork in the other, I attempted to cut the dosa. It was clear this was an abnormal situation for me. Hari Prasad smiled warmly at me, rolled up his sleeves, and started eating with his hands, signaling to me that it was okay to do the same. I was delighted. I have always believed that food tastes better when you eat with your hands. Although he was wealthy, Hari Prasad did not seem to have an air of arrogance around him. "How are you so humble around so much prestige?" I asked him. "I don't think I am humble, but any humility you think I might have is due to my simple South Indian parents who raised me with so much love," he replied. Although there were many around his plate today, Hari Prasad was not born with a silver spoon in his mouth. "I grew up in a small village outside Chennai," he began as he dipped his dosa in the sambar. His wife Lalita came in with another round of dosas and sat momentarily listening to her husband with interest. "My father worked in a textile factory," Hari Prasad continued. "His wages supported our family, and the factory gave us free cotton clothes that were passed down from my elder brothers and sisters. I am the youngest, so most of my clothes had my brother's name on the label. My father worked very hard for us. But look at your clothes now. You can only afford them because you are the cleverest out of all your siblings," Lalita interjected as she served him another hot dosa. They lovingly smiled at each other. I noticed that he indeed looked like an elegant statesman in his Gucci attire. "What about your mother?" I asked.